Hey all. Hope you're all well and staying home like you should. It just gives us more time to pull out the axes and play a little guitar. What we're going to do today is another one of those learn completely on the fly from scratch attempts. And this one is Where the Boys Go. And while I have always believed since it came out that Emotional Rescue is a much better album than it gets credit for. This is not one of my favorites on it. It kind of, I don't know, always sounded like sort of a generic up-tempo thing that they were so good at. I mean, Respectable is one of those. Lies is one of those. What else? Let Me Go. There's a few that were in that period that they're all basically the same. But still good. But at any rate, on this album, this one's never been one of my favorites. So I've never played it. In fact, it's one that I always kind of have skipped over when I used to play the album. But we're gonna listen to it and see if it's. I've got one tuned to standard. I don't know if it's open G or what, but let's listen to it and see what we hear, see what key it's in, and then go from there and use it as a starting point. So let's just see what we hear. Okay. It's in the key of B. And you can hear the beginning of it starts A to B. I mean, that's that kind of lick up there. Although it sounds like the main chord part of it, probably down here, as opposed to, but wouldn't make any difference. So I'd probably do it at time. Let's just walk through it a little bit. So far it doesn't do anything. It just does B to E. I'm playing it as a B5, but you can do it as a 4. But you can hear if you do it as a full B, with that, what's that, the third note? The G note, the G string. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like so I'm doing them as fifth chords, and so far it doesn't do anything other than that, B and E, so we'll see where it goes. So in that one part, it does go back to what the intro was, to the A to B, and I like doing that down here now. So I think we're back into E and B now. keep going back to that A to B thing as a kind of a bridge into the chorus each time through, except the first time through. It sounds like it. But if you just hear that part, and we're at what, 2:22, so right around a little after 2 minutes, you can hear, and this is one thing that leads me to believe this is standard tuning and not open G. You get Keith and his, we've talked about this a million times, his Chuck Berry lick. That one lick that is the dead giveaway, that one, it's Keith playing the solos, but also that it's standard tuning. So this is in standard tuning, and it's in the key of B. It goes B, or it starts with A to B, A to B, A5, B5. Then it goes into... You know, you might very well have Mick doing... You know, in that period he was playing some rhythm guitar. But I think that's the bulk of it, and it sound, I don't know, we're into the... And you'll get some of it's another giveaway that it's Keith when he does the double stops on the G and B string. And even in the intro of it. You know, the little licks at the beginning. Probably Keith, but let's just see it for a second and see where it goes. It just rides out on that. So I think we pretty well got the whole thing now. Standard tuning in the key of B starts out with A5 to B to B5, and then it's... The only thing different is the bridge. And that sounds like it's the whole tune. I ain't gonna listen to the last 30 seconds of it because it's just rolling out. But that's how you do it. Things to listen for. Another thing, and this isn't always true, but if you're trying to figure out, because you could do that in a rhythm part, and I wouldn't do that in open G, but you could do a rhythm part, just doing your bars across. And it's not the usual thing for Keith to tune to open G and then do a song in the key of B. He doesn't do that very often, unless he puts a capo on it. This one's not. Plus, these sort of up-tempo, almost sort of punkish, or the Stones version of what they thought punk was at the time. Those kind of numbers, like Respectable, and those ones that are usually all A, D, and E, kind of hopped up Buddy Holly tunes. Are I suspect written by Mick as opposed to Keith, and Mick is a lot more likely in that period to use standard than open G. Although around the period of Brown Sugar, 69, 70 in there, and even into and you could see the little clips of it when they were doing Steel Wheels, the recording sessions for that in '89, I think that was. And there's a clip of he and Keith working out Mixed Emotions in the studio, sort of writing the bridge into the chorus and all that. And Mick is on open G. They're both on open G. So Mick has used open G to write. He wrote all of Brown Sugar all by himself, and that's the sort of the quintessential open G Stones riff, and that was Mick, not Keith. So, but anyway, by the time they got to late 70s, he would have been just doing standard tuning chords. So I hope this is helpful in terms of kind of sussing out what you hear and the little clues to Stones' songwriting in that period. Good luck.